There's a little.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Greg Gordon.
Here.
Susan Snyder.
Present.
Gene Delaney.
Here.
Michael George.
Here.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 And can I have a motion to approve the minutes from June 10th, regular
Motion,
meeting?
motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And the approval of the minutes from the June 10th closed meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Okay. All right. Greetings, staff, citizens, and Board of Trustees. I hope everyone had a great celebration for our country's 250-year anniversary. Tonight, we will be submitting our 6-month financials to the board for approval. I'm happy with where we are currently. It looks good. We've been working to have this city grow with integrity and transparency. We're following the path that the citizens have requested by watching the building codes carefully and making sure everything is following the codes we have. Mistakes were made in the past, and we don't want that to happen again. We are very careful to update and maintain the water and sewer system to comply with the DNR and not to have mistakes. We have had, I'm sure if you've seen our people out in the field, we've had a lot of downed lift stations and things, so we are repairing all those. I will mention at this time, because of the storm this weekend, a lot of people were making calls like, you know, I have water, but I don't have electric, but I don't understand why I don't have water. Well, your pumps run on electric, your wells run on electric. So, and the wastewater, if the electric is off in your neighborhood, the grinders and everything are not going to be working. So keep that in mind when we have storms like that. Tonight, we're tackling the subject of data centers. We must be prepared for the possibility of someone wanting to build one in Sunrise Beach, and we must have the ordinance to state exactly what our citizens will accept. There are 3 board members that have been here for 3 years, and those years have been filled with many positive changes to our city. We listen to what the citizens and the businesses want. If you have any questions or comments about anything going on in the city, please call one of the board members. Okay, our first on the agenda is to ask for a nomination on a board member to fill the spot that is vacant at this time. So I'd like to introduce you all, and most of you know him, Daniel Hostetter. I'd like to see if we can have a nomination to have Daniel fill that spot.
Yeah.
I make a motion that we nominate Daniel Hofstetter to the board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And Daniel, if you'd step up here, we'll have Aaron give you the oath, and then you can be seated and we can get on with business.
Repeat after me. I, Daniel Hostetter,
I, Daniel Hostetler,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of Missouri,
of the State of Missouri,
and I will faithfully
and I will faithfully
perform
perform
the duties
the duties
of a trustee,
of a trustee,
of which I was appointed
of which I was appointed
on the 8th day of July,
on the 8th day of July,
2026.
2026.
Welcome to the Board of Trustees.
Thank you.
Microphone. You're welcome to come sit at the table.
Do I get a name?
I'll give it to you.
That was good.
They take a few minutes to get in the mail, actually. Or did order.
Okay. So next on the agenda is visitors' comments. Do I have any visitors that have comments about anything? Would you please rise, state your name, and you've got 5 minutes.
Steve Carter. I would like to ask each board member what their position is about data centers. Are you for or against? And I'd like an answer from each board member.
We'll have to discuss that when we start talking about data centers, because
I'm just asking their personal opinion.
we're not supposed to answer questions from visitors' comments. We will take it under advisement during the data center part.
Very well.
Steve, may I ask what your opinion of them are, since you're asking us ours, that way we know.
My opinion is against.
Okay. So let's get through the. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
My
Mr.
name is Jim. I have a couple things. Number one, I want to know what the procedure is, proper procedures of the zoning, planning to get, in line with whoever the grant money for the sewers and, the water over on our, what is it, Oak Top, Pet Oak, or over there.
Town center.
You talking about in your neighborhood? That's already on the agenda for the next phase. I mean, I know we're not supposed to answer questions, but yes, you're already on the agenda. As soon as we're finished with phase 4, which is redesigning that plant,
Okay.
and that's happening already. And then we're going to have the construction. It should be starting. I think they're going to be hiring a contractor any day now to do the construction work. We're hoping that'll be done by early summer. Then we'll be able to close the plant down in south. Then the next phase is your area.
Oh, okay, that's better than the last time I asked it, fell off the radar screen.
No, it didn't. What I was saying to you then was, it takes so long to go through these grant, we
No, I
have to,
understand that,
yeah.
but just,
So-
so there's it's back on the radar.
It's on there. Yes, we already have the engineer hired.
Okay, cool.
So Archer will be doing that phase also. He's,
Two more short questions.
okay.
When they applied the cold patch on the road there, that 1/4-inch thick cold patch here a couple of years ago, it's kind of lifted up or gone. So now we have two big holes on center. There's one on Center Road right in front of the campground thing there.
And then Oak Top.
Yeah, and then there's another one that's Oak Top too. No, there's Oak Top and Center, but there's two. I mean, they're like 4x4, maybe bigger.
Yeah. Troy and I, we talked about that, and when actually they were down.
Maybe another cold patch or something, or at least some of that filled rock, or whatever you put in there.
If you've got that in your notes, maybe you could pass it along to Dahlia to get
I
that,
do.
try to get that set up to where they can at least patch it.
Yeah.
The best they can do,
I
you know, by
think- yeah,
hand.
I
so.
think that they have it on their listed
Okay.
step order as well. I think it's been with a capital material to try to get some material as well.
Yeah, they drove down and took a look at it.
Yeah, I think with the storms, they're a little bit back, trying to,
Mhm.
at this point, they're.
I mean, there's some bumps that come up, which I always try to run over the bumps and stuff like that. to keep
Push it down?
Yeah. Last one is for Officer Craig, is the speed limit's 25. What's that street there?
All city streets.
Exactly. Did you ever run radar on there or anything? On that Beechwood, right?
Beechwood, yeah.
Beechwood is 25.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
No, that's my point. I mean, I'm seeing 50 miles an hour up and down there. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even know. Do we have signs on
Yeah,
Beechwood?
there
So
is.
we've got signs on Beechwood. If you want to email me with any particular area that you're seeing problems on, what I'll do is deploy our radar signs that are up on 5. We've got a couple signposts that, again, it's on Troy's list to get posts out to where I can put those up through Beechwood. Cause I want to go out and do a traffic study and see what it looks like with the signs off. And then we'll turn the signs on to see if that slows it down. Because those signs will take traffic data as far as if they're speeding or not, and I can turn the display So it looks like the sign's off. It'll still tell me how fast they're going.
But it's that little blue light I see come on.
Well, the blue light is just to make people think that it's recording. It tells me.
It does slow people down.
I'm kidding. Everybody thinks it's recording because the blue light. The blue light just tells me that it's on.
Okay.
So I can turn the blue light off also.
I mean, I just been noticing it just getting, people flying through there.
But yeah, we can definitely increase some enforcement and do some different traffic studies with it.
Thank you. That's all.
Did you have something?
Oh, well, yes, I'd like to provide some information on data centers that I'm seeing. I don't know if this is appropriate time or not.
Well, I do have that on here. We have an ordinance to pass about that, but I would like to talk about it as soon as we get through the department things. So,
Whatever you would like, I would be happy to.
and I would like that because you will be able to address some of our questions about the electric part of it. Okay, so Chief, you have a report you want to go over?
Month of June, officers responded to 178 calls for service, performed 1,866 self-initiated activities, issued 82 citations, 93 warnings. After posting the police clerk position, we had several qualified applicants respond. However, we decided to move forward with hiring Angel McCormick for the position. Angel is here with us tonight in the back. Angel has served as a police officer for Lake Ozark Police Department for the last 3 years, with a total of 6 years in law enforcement. In addition to her patrol duties at Lake Ozark PD, she performed a variety of additional responsibilities from records, retention, evidence, and help and support the office. She's not only qualified for the clerk position, but also highly recommended by both her last chiefs, Chief James Bourne and Christensen. In addition to performing the duties of the clerk, she's also going to hold a commission with our department. And this is one of the things that really set Angel apart from the other applicants. So now our clerk, when someone comes in to make a complaint, can take initial reports, can help officers with follow-ups. When she's helping with the evidence, it's not going to mess with the chain of custody as far as having a civilian break. So it's a really great advantage to help support the office. The Marshkey building lease signed and executed. Everything required for us to be able to start thinking about moving in should be done by the 14th as far as internet. We still have some other stuff to do as far as dropping some data cables and installing call boxes and cameras. In response to us signing the lease, we discussed about furniture at the last meeting. The Wilson Family Foundation has graciously donated $5,000 to help offset the cost of additional office furniture and pieces that improve officer morale in the workspaces. In addition to that $5,000, the Morris family that owns Deepwater Inn at Pirates Point has also pledged to donate $1,000 to assist with purchases that are going to promote officer wellness. They're not here tonight, but I would like to recognize Officer Onstock and Officer North for being two of the 3 law enforcement officers from Camden County who were recognized at the Mothers Against Drunk Driving Heartland Recognition Banquet in Jeff City. In addition to 2 of our own officers being recognized, we have been asked by Mothers Against Drunk Driving Heartland to host a Saturation Saturday for the Central Region this coming September. The Central Region essentially almost goes from Iowa to south of Lebanon. It is huge. So we will have officers coming from potentially Cole County, Lickley County, Morgan, Miller, Benton to Sunrise Beach to meet with us, have meals, and hear from some advocates of victims before going to their own jurisdictions and focusing on DWI enforcement. So that is a really big honor that's been asked. In addition to that, I was blown away with being requested by Missouri Department of Transportation. And September 9th through 11th, I will be serving as a guest speaker at the Highway Safety Conference. I'll be speaking on a panel of safety legislation in Missouri of what's happened and what's next, along with representatives from MAD and AAA. Then the fourth over there. Also, Officer Carolina is here. I would like to recognize Officer Carolina. On July 4th, while Officer Gregory and I were working to keep people away from down power lines, Officer Carolina directed traffic by hand at Highway 5 and F for more than 2 hours. By hand, by himself for over 2 hours with no break. That in of itself at a non-busy intersection is a heck of a feat. But to do it during 4th of July traffic, is very commendable. So thank you for that. The only thing that I need to add that's not in there is the Blue Shield notice of funding did go out, and we're gonna be eligible for just under $29,000. 25,000 of that, I'm planning on replacing our aging tough books that are now 4 to 5 years old with new in-car tough books to better support the officers and the data.
Way to go. Love those grants. Public Works, I have had a request from Dahlia and Caitlin that they not be at the meeting tonight, and I think that's just fine, because as long as they give us a report, we can see what they're talking about. Dahlia is going to start giving us a brief report of what Troy's been up to, and as we know, he's been clearing the overhangs all over the city. Our skid steer had to have a new hydraulic pump, and he did it himself, so he fixed that, which saved us thousands of dollars. He has been fixing potholes throughout the city. I know he worked on that week that it was 90 degrees. We have a new hire, which is a part-time seasonal hire. His name is Trevor, and he apparently is doing a bang-up job. I've heard nothing but good. So he is helping Troy, and now Dahlia doesn't have to put a shovel in her hand and go out and help him. So that's a good thing. And also, just the storm. There was trees all over the street. So he's been running crazy trying to get all that taken care of. Plus the fact that we had more lift stations that had issues. We had a couple of breakers that blew out because of the storm. We're really having a lot of repair problems with the water and wastewater system. So don't be surprised when you look at the report for 6 months. The expenses on that end are really high. They're probably over the budget right now. And as far as the Caitlin has also has something in here that tells us, there it is. Water loss, 41% down from 47. Overall usage is up 445,000 gallons for last month. The major water repair at Old Sunrise Acres was totaling 150,000 gallons. Metering, we finally found the one lost meter. So yay, we have all the meters. We have successfully begun collecting one of the lost meters on a longer past due account. So the last billing cycle was up $4,000. So that's very helpful. We did finally install the Woods pump that they've been working on for quite a while. Singing Oaks had a temporary repair and parts have been received, and they're working that in the schedule. There was one down at Kansas City Way. The hazelnut grinder had to have a complete overhaul. There was one on Weems that needed electric work, and a large wastewater leak was repaired at Papa's Pit Stop. That was a huge thing, and we did have to turn that into DNR, which we did, and so we're good with that. She's got in there what our water system usage is. So when you look at total water revenue, $28,798. Residential, the gallons sold was 1.748 million gallons. That's a lot. So anyway, these two reports are what we will be getting from Caitlin's side of things with the wastewater and water. And then Dahlia will be furnishing the information on the public works side of it. So hopefully they'll give us enough information that we'll know each month what's being accomplished out there. The next thing on there, we've gone through Halloween, public works. Did you have anything for planning and zoning you need to speak about?
Only update on there is Kathy and I've been kind of sifting through. Hopefully we'll have the first draft August.
Okay, good. And I'm sorry, did we introduce you, or is this your first meeting?
I came last.
Okay. Okay. That's our new attorney. So, okay. Finances. We have our 6-month annual report on time. Yay. So very clear cut. This will be put into the paper for the public, as is the statute. So now you can kind of give a brief look at what all the finances look like for half a year. The bills are in line next, and if you've had a chance to take a look at what we have here, they're up to date. Aaron just updated them today, so you're seeing what our monthly bills are. And we need to do some approving, number one, of this list of bills that she needs to pay, and also we are going to approve the first payment for CDBG grant administration for the Beechwood project. So if everybody has had a chance to look at the finances, I will entertain a motion to approve them.
I motion we approve the finances from financial statement January.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I do have to list the bills too.
And let's do for the current list of bills, a motion.
This is for the water and this is general.
Anybody, motion?
Make a motion to pay the bills.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, I am going to, I'm going to skip the increasing the business license because I think we've already covered that with our zoning codes. We're gonna be having all of our fees and everything in the zoning codes that we'll be approving when they are ready. So we're gonna go past that, table that for the time being.
Okay.
And let's go ahead and give a second reading for ordinance 2026-03, and that is the naming of Hawk Lake, the other one, to the new name of Ozark Adventure. So, and I think this is a roll call vote, Aaron.
Yeah, it'll be a roll call. Let me go ahead.
Okay,
Just
so
over there then. Talk a little bit about. Okay. Stuff.
we already read it once, and this is the second reading, so.
Okay, so an ordinance of the Village of Sunrise Beach, Missouri, clearing from the intersection of Hawk Lake Drive, 600 feet north of MO5 and F, to the northwestern terminus to be named Ozark Adventures Drive.
And we need a roll call vote on that.
We need a motion first.
Oh, we need a motion first.
Yeah.
Motion that we approve the ordinance. Second.
So. Greg Gordon,
Yes.
Daniel,
Yes.
Susan Stein,
Yes.
Ian Delaney,
Yes.
and Michael George.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. That should help with a lot of people turning around people's driveways.
Okay.
It's not bad if they just use the driveway, but when you start using the yard.
Hopefully that gets taken, doesn't have to go through Camden County now. And,
No, I just sent Camden County the copy of the ordinance and they'll create a sign and put it up.
okay,
And then
perfect.
assign new addresses to the portion that has been changed.
Okay. Okay, our favorite subject now is data centers. We do have an ordinance about a moratorium, but I would like to speak about it a little bit. And first of all, Corey from Como is here. Did you all get one of these that I put out that kind of gives you some pointers about the data center thing? He's going to speak about this electric use that everybody is talking about, because in data centers, they use a significant amount of electricity. And what I learned at the data center conference was that if you're writing an ordinance for your city to include, if someone comes in and wants to put a data center in, one of the real key things is that you find out what kind of electricity they're going to need. Make sure that the electric company has that ability, and if they don't, that the data center actually pays for the upgrade. So, Corey, if you'd like to stand up and tell us your part.
So for those of you that I haven't met, my name's Corey Timmons. With Como. Been with Como for about 20 years. I live here in Sunrise Beach, so I'm in the city proper, but down at the end of that road. So this data center conversation that's been happening.
If you want to stand over there, maybe everybody can see you.
Yeah. So this data center conversation is quite interesting to me. That's, there's a lot of information. And just like some topics, we can some of the facts and details about what's out there, what may or may not be coming, it's different depending upon where you're at in the country and what infrastructure exists and so on and so forth. One of the things that I see in our local conversations is this fear of these large data centers coming in, like the giga centers is what a lot of them refer to. They're really huge, and some of them are the size of generation stations. Those are going in parts of the country. What we're not seeing as an electric provider, one of the things that is required, as Susan mentioned, is power. And so there's a realization happening that they don't fit everywhere in every part of the country. These big sites, they only fit in specific spots. And so what we are seeing is lots of inquiries about smaller units. And those smaller units, when we talk about those, maybe a megawatt, maybe 10 megawatts, maybe 20 megawatts, and not like 500 or 1,000. The interesting thing about that is there's kind of a neat niche that exists. If you can take those as a utility, especially in rural America, and you can set them where there's pockets of capacity and fully use that capacity. Say you've got a machine that's making widgets, that widget peaks at certain times during the manufacturing process. And say you can plug a machine into it and fill in the gap of the production and level it out. That's something that these machines can literally do for the utility or members in this part of the country. And so as we think about it and have been exposed to it, we've been educating ourselves on it a little bit. I want to show you some pictures, but I'll show the public too. Have any of you been to a data center? Okay, how big?
Our largest one's 14 halls, which I don't really know how to tell you the size of that, but it's good size. One's in a lake and one's in Richardson.
So you're very familiar with them. Okay, good deal. So some of the smaller ones, interestingly enough, if you guys have seen telephone exchanges, this is about a megawatt facility. It's sitting next to a pad mount transformer. This is actually owned by the ag producer. So 1 megawatt of capacity. This is air cooled. If you guys have been around the ag industry and you've seen grain dryers and you've seen turkey facilities.
Which this
That's
building,
the transformer. This is a small megawatt data center.
okay,
So not very big, not very intimidating.
No.
But when we start seeing what's being discussed in our part of the country, because of the lack of huge transmission infrastructure and excess capacity, what we're seeing is modular components that may add up to 5, 10, 15, maybe 20 just depending upon, and there's nothing here in the city, don't worry about that. But like in this substation here that sits in Sunrise Beach, you guys have seen it. The excess capacity that could be placed there is probably 20 megawatts. So say this unit, full of racks, equipment, and computing equipment, maybe up to 20 megawatts. So the thing that we're just making sure we're adding perspective. One gentleman I visited with had talked about a 10 megawatt unit. That 10 megawatt unit, the water required for it, he's putting offices with it. So he needed offices for his restroom and for his, just his office. It was a household well, as the size of that. So no water requirements. So that piece is, construed with some of the larger and older units, sealed units. And the amount of investment that he was talking about for that 10 megawatt facility for that region was a $200 million investment. Now, for the electrical consumption, as with any project that we have, rest assured, you don't need to worry about it as a city because our board of directors is elected by our members. And one of the things we require, if someone comes in and requires infrastructure, that they pay for the cost of the infrastructure that's going in. And so when we have a conversation with someone that wants to understand what it would cost to bring data center in here, first of all, there's got to be capacity. You're not going to serve them without capacity. And if there's not transmission coming in, transmission line capacity coming in, or substation capacity, we can change transformers, so it's going to be at their cost. But the fun thing about it is, and the cool thing about it is, we talk about development and the need for development, the additional consumption from those data centers, just like our facility that grows the marijuana down the road. That helps to offset the cost for this fixed cost out for more kilowatt hours. And so the offer I just wanted to bring for this board is, I know you guys are dealing with a lot of questions. It's a period of time with these opportunities. The residents will determine what they want. I totally get it. But what we're seeing is not scary stuff out there. And if there's anything we can do to be a part of that conversation and help create some guardrails with what fits for the community, we're happy to do so. But we're seeing some really neat opportunities show up. And I just want to make sure that, having seen what I've seen, I don't sit back quietly and let it pass us by. Because I think I would hate that for our community to not at least give this some good evaluation and not put guardrails in that are so tight that we're not able to let in what we want to do. So
I've got a couple of questions for you.
Sure.
First one, at Como, have you guys talked about where would be a good place for these physically to position them? Have you already made those kind of
we know
estimates, if you will?
we know where there's pockets of capacity that they could fit.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing too is, with any business, from a utility perspective, if there's capacity, they've got to work through, is there land available? Is all these components. But, in the northern part of our service territory, we've got a lot of ag. And so we've got a lot of turkey grow facilities. We've got a lot of grain facilities. This tends to be more residential or tourist based. So they seem to, with any business that seems to self-select over time, a variety of it. But we know absolutely for any potential member that comes in and wants to put a big load in, whether we can serve it. The thing that's different about this period of time is we've never seen a megawatt load used to be huge. I mean, unless it was a factory coming in, and the energy density of these things is they're not a very big footprint, and they use quite a bit. So we might have something quite like this, and in across the country, is creating a lot of conversations, just like around this room today. And people are trying to figure out how they feel about it, what it does. But the telephone exchanges, we've had a data center embedded in our headquarters facility since for 15 years, 20 years. A lot of the big facilities have them. Springfield Underground's had data centers in for a long time. So a lot of good business, good jobs come from it. So Any other things I can answer for you?
No, and I think that the whole misinformation thing is a big part of why everybody is kind of up in arms about it. And I did go to the data center conference they had, and they had several speakers from different areas where they had, like Loudoun County, Virginia. They got 250 data centers in Loudoun County, and they started having them 25 years ago or whatever.
Yep.
So they've learned over the years what they have to insist upon. So they started out, yay, we're going to get a data center, and you get a ton of tax revenue from them because they're selling data. So the city ends up getting a lot of revenue from them. But you have to make sure, and one of the things that came out exactly, and I put these out there so that everyone could see just some points about it. You can have something as small as 10,000 square foot, which is called a micro center, which is probably what that picture is that you showed. When this was happening down in Camden County, that was a 50,000 square foot. So, I mean, they wanted to put this ginormous thing right there behind Walmart. So it's a little different story than what I didn't realize when we're saying data centers. Everybody thinks of this giant thing. Every office building in St. Louis has a data center. It's in their basement. It's their servers. It's what keeps their electronics and their data, their cloud service and all that. So I just don't think people understood that there could be something small enough that you wouldn't even notice them. I mean, we've got lift stations all over the city. I don't know if anybody even pays any attention to them, and some of them are kind of big. So I just wanted to make sure, and tonight what we're talking about is doing a moratorium on data centers just to give us time to make an ordinance that will fit our city. If we don't want big data centers, we want that in the ordinance. If we want to know what their noise is, what their power, their water, the emissions, the setbacks, all those things that we have to really look at when we do an ordinance, because you cannot say flat out no. You just can't do that. I mean, a city cannot totally say we're not allowing data centers. You just can't say that, because you will be in a legal battle if that happens. So what you do is you set up your ordinances to fit your city. So that's what we're doing tonight, is just putting a hold on it. Give us 6 months. Attorney's working on it already. We're going to have to talk to her about what we want our ordinance to say. And then once we get an ordinance in, it will replace the moratorium, and it will be the guidelines of what we will accept. And of course, that's going to take public hearings. So whether or not somebody's for or against them, we'll find that out soon enough, because it will be a public hearing for sure.
Susan, I think it'd be interesting, as you start to move forward, you're going to develop a plan and regulations to guide what's going to come in and what's not potentially.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to ask a lot of questions.
Mm-hmm.
The first one I can think of, just right on the heels of this storm we just had. If we have another storm like that and all the power gets shut down, who gets power first, the data center or? I can
answer that.
Good.
So that it isn't a choice between, when you have something like this come through, it's not a choice between who wins and who loses when you restore power, but it is a circuit sale.
Yeah.
And so, a tree falls across, the chief was talking about his folks having to do traffic control at the intersections.
Mm-hmm.
The circuits, the main circuits going up in these substations are the ones you have to bring on first. And so, aside from like a nursing home or hospital or something like that, that's critical infrastructure, those are your priorities. But aside from that, what happens is you bring on your main feed first. So it is never about that kind of thing.
Okay.
It's simply about how do you get the most people on quickest. And so, great question. But yeah, those are the types of questions that I just offered the council. If I could be of any help answering any of these questions, certainly please reach out, because I'm happy to do so.
I think when we get an ordinance put together and we have a public hearing, that would be a good idea. Is first of all, maybe even have it at the Board of Realtors so that it's big enough that everybody can be there, and maybe have somebody like Corey come to answer any questions anybody has. Because like I said, we can't say no, but we can guide what we will take. So, with that being said, the ordinance that our attorney put together for us is to establish a moratorium, and that gives us 6 months from, I'm assuming today, to get our ordinance together and know what it is that we want for the city. So the reason that I wanted to make sure that everyone knew we were doing this is because I have been getting a lot of questions. I've gotten quite a few. Matter of fact, the day that happened in Camdenton and I was watching that happen, I started getting calls already. You're not going to let this happen in our city, are you? And it's like, I don't know anything about these things. So you really do. And believe me, when I went to that conference, I had to go through a whole group of protesters who gave me their propaganda. And there are a lot of fears about them. The fears about they're going to take all our water, they're going to take all our electric, all this other stuff. So it is something you really have to study and understand it. With that said, would you like to read the title for the ordinance?
Yes. An ordinance of the Village of Sunrise Beach, Missouri, establishing a temporary moratorium on the approval, permitting, and construction of data centers within the village limits for a period of 6 months, providing for findings and setting forth an effective date. First reading. June.
And we can do both readings tonight.
You can.
Yeah. Okay.
You can take it
Can
right on.
I have a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance 2026-04?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And second reading, an ordinance of the Village of Sunrise Beach, Missouri, establishing a temporary moratorium on the approval, permitting, and construction of a data center within the village limits for a period of 6 months, providing for findings and setting forth an effective date.
Okay, this will be a roll call vote.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Okay, and a roll call vote, Craig Gordon,
Yes.
and then Jamie Hostetler,
Yes.
Susan Snyder,
Yes.
Jean Delaney,
Yes.
Michael Brooks.
Yes.
Okay, so we have 6 months. I hope it doesn't take that long, but we'll have to start setting up some work sessions where we actually, planning and zoning, beware, you will be involved in this. So we will be talking about data centers. And where are we now? I'd like to enter into a closed session, and we want to talk about some legal advice here on pertaining to litigation. So I would like to make a motion that we close. Somebody make a motion and we go into closed session.
Motion to go to closed session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's a roll call.
And we'd like
Roll call.
for you guys take leave. Roll call.
Yes.
Thanks, Corey. Yes.
Jean Delaney.
Yes.
Michael Brooks.
Yes. You up to working on
These are